Yo guys, welcome back to the channel, it's your boy Bachiru. So, in this video, I'll be just sharing some of the things that I found with Baiken. Let's call it like a starter guide kind of thing and first impressions. I'm back from the Blaze Blue era, so now it's Guilty Gear. My very first impression of Baiken that she's a very fun character and she has some very big, well-rounded set of tools. Yeah, so I'm very happy, to be honest, with my first impressions, and she's a very fun character and it seems that she has a lot of depth. So in this video, we'll just share some of the things that I've discovered and some of the things that's been going around Twitter. I feel like Baiken is a training mode character to us because she's very fun. And yellow guys, let's begin. Okay, so let's talk a little bit first about her buttons. So let's see how useful they can be. You have 5p and 2p. Relatively slow compared to other 5ps in the game. However, they have some decent range and they don't lead too much on hit confirming. To be honest, that's the theme with Baiken. She doesn't really get much reward like out of stray hits. She's a very deliberate character from what I feel. So 5p and 2p are good buttons. I don't feel like they're also like very good get off me buttons because of the relatively like slow startup. 6p seems like a decent anti-air. I haven't tested that out, to be honest, that much. However, it seems that afterwards you can go for a tatami if you manage to land it, or you can go for this one, the Kamari. 5k is really fast, pushes her forward and can cancel into 6k. So 5k into 6k is a frame trap, so your opponent cannot mash out of it. And if you get closer, you can actually go for either a tatami or the pull move. We'll talk about the special moves later. 2k also, very decent range actually. Doesn't lead too much out of maximum range except for the first hit of the 2D. And what you can do, and pressure, what you can do actually just make it safe with either a tatami or with a pull move. Fire Slash is a very good poking move. It has somewhat of a decent range and it can cancel either into 5 heavy slash, but however that works, you need to be a bit closer, or you can go for a 2 heavy slash. This is not a true combo, however it can act as a counter or a frame trap and you can always make 2 heavy slash safe for the special move. And if you manage to confirm 2 heavy slash, you can go for some decent combos afterwards. 2 slash is very excellent and I feel like this is a very useful poke tool and it can work in a lot of combos actually. So you can actually just lead into some hard knockdowns out of the 2 slash. For me, it feels like this is a really decent like range button. 5 heavy slash is, I feel like it's pretty good. Like I don't know, I really like it. I don't know if it can hit above of her. However, it feels like it's really like a meaty button. And of course, afterwards, you cannot really go into much except you can cancel into special moves. So you can go for a tatami or you can go for the pull move. 2D, I feel like it's a very average sweep move. However, it has 2 hits. If you're doing some of the 5k combos or something, you need to be careful that you can actually need to cancel both of the, like, you need to wait for the second hit of the 2D to land so you can actually continue into a combo afterwards. For jumping buttons, jumpy feels okay. Just like a slow button, however it hits downwards. 5k is also pretty decent and it's a combo tool, it hits above her. Jumping slash, I feel like it's pretty great because it hits in a very like good downwards angle in the air and it has some decent range on it. And you can cancel it or use unset if you manage to land it. Jumping heavy slash, I feel like that was the glory days of RAM because it starts fast and it actually has a lingering hitbox. And since you can cancel the heavy slash into other things, like with the recent patch, you can actually cancel this move or you can poke with it. And you can confirm into a use unseen easily if it lands. I don't know how much bad the hitbox of this move is, but I feel like it's pretty great. Then you have Jumping D. Jumping D feels pretty good, like it has like a really decent range and I feel like maybe it will be a good contesting air to air move. And this is definitely a combo utility, like a button, because you can go for some really decent combos out of Jump D loops. Okay, now let's talk a bit more about the special moves. I know a lot of people are contesting like why Baiken lost a lot of moves, but for me, I am coming from Revelator and to be honest, I've never really played Baiken before. So I'm approaching this like from fresh set of eyes. So it seems that the counter-heavy gameplay of Baiken has been removed. However, Baiken has 4 special moves and I feel like they have so much utility that they're actually pretty fun. So first of all, we'll start first with the Hiragi, which is a counter move. The use is very straightforward. It basically counters attacks like normal buttons, but it loses to projectiles and throws. And the startup is not really instant, so I don't feel like you can counter like frame 1. However, this move has a very huge recovery. However, you can RC to make it safe. It can lead into combos after RC, but however, I feel like the damage on its own is pretty decent. So as you can see here, if you delay it a bit, you can counter like mashing. However, if you try to do it super fast, you will be countered. So I feel like the window for counter is pretty tight. Now let's talk a little bit about Tatami will leave it for a bit. Let's talk about Yozansen. Yozansen is an instant overhead attack, and it can lead into some combos from air to ground. And actually, it can lead to some really nasty stuff with RC. The nice thing about it actually is it hits pretty low to the ground. So if you have a jump cancelable move, like for example 5 kick or a close slash, as you can see, it's lit pretty low. And this actually enforces with the RC meter like a high-low mix-up. So you can either go for a 5k into 2k, and you can make it safe with a tatami, for example. Same thing for close slash, or you can go for this. On its own, it doesn't really lead into much. However, if you do RC, you can actually start going for some combos afterwards. And there are some really nasty combos if you learn how to do like the proper cancel timing. So this will make actually for some really decent and nasty stuff. I feel like this is a very good like special move to be honest, and I really like it. And I really like the idea that she has an instant overhead also. And you can go from some really stylish combos with what one if you want. So let's talk now about Kabari. This feels like it deserves its own video, but this is a starter guide, so we'll start with the very basics. So you have two versions of Kabari. Let's start with the like heavy slash version. So for Kabari, the heavy slash version, it's relatively starter than the slash version. However, it has follow-up. So if you press heavy slash immediately, it can lead into a follow-up attack that actually leads into a hard knockdown. However, if you do this, then you hold heavy slash, you can actually go to the other side. So this allows you actually to try to go for like some nasty like left-right mix-ups. This is actually good in combos, so especially as a combo ender. So for some of her like basic B and B combos, she usually needs to end it with heavy slash Kabari, so you can actually go for the hard knockdown. Now let's talk about the slash Kabari. Basically, the startup is pretty slow. However, it will put a rope between you and your opponent. This disappears after a certain period of time, and it doesn't really go like if Baiken gets hit. So what are the properties for this rope? Number one, it allows Baiken to go airborne on her air dashes. On her back dashes. So, for example, if you do this and you press backdash, as you can see, for a certain period of time, Baiken will be airborne. So this allows you to go for some stuff like this, for example. This is number one. Number two, it allows her to go for more, longer combos, especially if you establish like the rope. So if you have the rope, for example, let's just show a simple combo. So if you do this usually, this is where your combo ends usually. So if you do this, this is like your basic combo. However, if you have the rope, what you can do is, as you can see, the rope pulls. You can go for longer combos. Also, the rope allows her like to go for some really nasty mix-ups, especially after you throw. So for example, if I do this and I do tatami straight, it will go in front of the opponent. However, if you jump a little bit front and you do tatami, you will go behind your opponent. So I feel like there's a lot of room to explore like with this version of Kabari, and I feel like the starter guide will never do this move justice. However, keep something in mind. If you do Kabari, your opponent is tethered to you, so they can also go for their own combos. And the farther you go, the harder that tether goes. So if you go for this, for example, you see how it goes airborne. I feel like it's a tool for you and for your opponent. And as a Baiken player, you have to enforce the fear, because you have a counter, you have an instant overhead after that, and you can go for like more decent combos. And it allows you to get some extra properties like on your back dashes, even on your jumps, because as you can see, it pulls you back to your opponent. So I'll be exploring this and releasing a separate video for it. Now let's talk about Tatami Gaishi, which is her signature move. So for Tatami Gaishi, she has two versions of that move. So she has the grounded version. The kick one has a hitbox actually, and actually the other, like when the mat goes down, it actually has a hit. When you hit near the opponent, actually you can like have them go airborne, which allows you to go for some more combos. So the other version actually is the airborne version. I feel like it recovers pretty fast, to be honest, and it leaves like the mat floating on the ground. This mat will not disappear until it hits the ground, and it has a hitbox when it lands. So this is very good for like zoning and spacing. And since Baiken can move pretty freely afterwards, you can actually use it like to get in into opponents. Actually, I'll just zone out with it. Of course, you can only do one tatami at a time. So if you do, for example, something like this, you cannot throw a tatami mat until the first one disappears. This is a good approach tool. This is a good pressure tool, and this is a good space control tool. And it's actually a good Oki tool. So as we explained previously, you can actually go for this. And you can actually use it for some like instant air dash setups or something like this. It's pretty versatile, and you can actually use it in some combos. So you can go actually for some like restant combos, like especially after RC. So Tatami Gaishi is very interesting, to be honest, and I feel like it has a lot of applications actually. Now let's talk a little bit about her super moves. So for Baiken, she has two super moves. The first one actually is the gunshot. It travels really fast actually, and you can use it actually to wolf punish some projectiles, and actually it's a pretty decent combo ender in some situations, and it actually allows her like to confirm out of things that she can like naturally not confirm. This is one of the things I feel like Baiken struggles with, is that she cannot really confirm traditionally like other characters. So you have to play more like on setting things up so you can actually do like your mix-ups, and you can actually force the fear with the counter and those things. So for example, usually when you do this, there isn't much you can do afterwards actually. You can actually go for the pull, or you can just try to set up your rope so you can actually continue with the kabari. Or what you can actually do, if you have the 50 meter, you can confirm this, then you can go into a tatami setup. The other move actually is the her slash special. It's a 3 slashes, and if the first hit doesn't hit really, it doesn't really go into the animation. Actually looks pretty cool, to be honest. Now I'm just gonna show some random like combos and setups that I found, and I'm sure that this character will develop really quickly, especially after the servers go out of maintenance. Okay guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. There's a lot of things still to discover with Baiken, but I feel like hopefully this video will help you get started. I'm gonna be hitting the lab today, so maybe I will try to stream later on tonight. So make sure to check the description in the box below, and you can catch me on Twitch. Alright guys, yalla, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.